Ever wondered how your voucher could one day help you buy a home, or why reporting an income change matters?
Stay with us and find out. You don't want to miss this.
Welcome to Keys to Home. I'm Justice Morales, and I'm here today with Zerlene Lassiter, who is a Housing Choice Voucher Manager at Statesville Housing Authority. And so with that being said, welcome, Zerlene. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, Justice. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. And so for the viewers who may be hearing about this for the first time, what is the HCV program and who is eligible for it?
So the HCV program is a program that provides subsidy for very low income families. Mm-hmm. And anyone is able to apply, but the eligibility is specific to the PHA's requirements, and some of those requirements are a family annual income and family size. So if you're within the income limits, you are eligible. Applicants must be a U.S. citizen or a eligible non-citizens as defined by HUD standards. And the head of household must have a social security number. And we do some things specific to the households. The housing authorities also, your criminal background, depending on what's on that, you can be eligible for the program.
Right. And so if a voucher holder is interested in transitioning into homeownership, what is the very first step that they should take?
The very first step they should take is to make sure that they have been on the program for 1 year. That's their very first step.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yes.
And so what are the key requirements a family must meet before they can use their voucher towards a mortgage?
So, again, the very first key requirement is to be a 1 year program voucher holder and to have home ownership education classes. And after you complete those courses, you should get a certificate. You must have updated income info, and you must be a first-time home buyer.
Oh, wow. And so is there anything else that you would want anyone that is thinking of doing this now? Anything that you would want them to know?
Just to make sure you have your income. I think the most important thing is to make sure you have your income updated.
Absolutely. And so obviously a stable income is such an important factor in the homeownership approval process. But for tenants currently renting with a voucher, what is the correct way to report an income change? So
the correct way to report an income change is to come into the office and you report an income change. We have a form that the tenants fill out, and they report an income change, whether it's an increase or a decrease. And if it's a decrease and it's reported by the 15th of the month, it will be effective for the very following month. If it's reported after the 15th, then the change will be effective the second month after the change was reported. So. And it's only from the point they report it moving forward. So if you quit your job or you start working 6 months ago and you come in June the 4th and say, hey, I don't work anymore, it's going to be effective from July. It's not retro. So that's very important, because we have some tenants to come in sometimes and say, hey, I started working this last year. Well, you didn't tell us. So now we'll move, make the change effective, but we're not going back a year.
Got you. So they obviously still be responsible for those previous months.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, great. Well, thank you for clarifying that. And how quickly would a tenant report an increase or a decrease income, which you kind of spoke on this, but once again, you can elaborate again what happens.
Yeah, and so for an increase, it's important to report those too, because sometimes when, especially in the homeownership program, if we're doing the most updated income we have and it says you're making $10,000 per year, but you're not, you're making $40,000, that could make a difference in your lending.
Right.
So that's why it's important to just make sure we just have that updated, the most current updated income for your household.
And so how does a reported income change affect a tenant's portion of rent or their subsidy amount?
So if it's a decrease, it will lower their portion and raise our portion. But if they're reporting an increase, vice versa, it lowers our portion and raises their portion.
Okay.
Reporting that is very, very, very important, because it's easy to report when I'm not working, but then when I start working, I might get a little amnesia.
Yeah.
So, but you don't want to do that either, because if we find it and it's a HUD violation, so it's basically fraud. So we're paying more than we're supposed to be paying. So while you're working, so it's very important to report those changes.
Right, y'all hear that?
Technology is changing, so we can see.
Okay, listen, please
We
report. So if you don't mind me asking, what are some of the biggest misconceptions residents have about using a voucher to buy a home?
The biggest misconception is the payment standard. For example, if my voucher size is one bedroom, and let's say the payment standard for that is $2,000, and my mortgage is $3,000. The biggest misconception they have is, hey, since I'm eligible for $2,000, $2,000 of these are also going to go towards the $3,000 mortgage, and I'm responsible for $1,000. And that's not how it works. That's not how it works. So that's the biggest misconception. I've tried to explain it several times. I don't know. It's just a big misconception when it comes to that.
Well, if there are, and I'm going to talk to you guys, if there's anyone who is obviously struggling with those questions about how the money works or the finances work going into homeownership, we do offer budget and credit courses, and also talks about homeownership in those as well in the fall. So just please continue looking on our social media, keep an eye out for those, because those will be coming soon. And Zerlene, I have one final question. Okay. What advice would you give to a tenant who wants to pursue homeownership but doesn't feel ready?
Counseling, and please get education on your credit scores, your credit report, what needs to be done, and follow the instructions of your lender or your credit counselor.
Absolutely.
Follow the instructions. If they say don't get a credit card, and don't get a new credit card, don't purchase anything new.
Yes.
We are here to help you move forward, so please feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions.
Thank you, Zerlene, and thank you all for watching this edition to Keys to Home. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.